welcome to another episode of the Weeb Retreat Podcast. We hope you enjoy your stay. We are the Weebs, your hosts. My name is James. This is Germs. How you doing today, Germs?
Doing good, doing good. You know, spooky times have passed, unfortunately. Now it's time to get a Christmas, or I guess it's Thanksgiving, but
Yeah,
a lot of people skip that.
that one gets forgotten in there, unfortunately. We're recording on Thanksgiving for you Weebs out there, so we hope you guys enjoy the content. Give us a like and sub if you do. Hey, we're going out of our way to give you guys the best anime show that we can. My day is going okay. I'm a little hungover and a little bit of a runny nose. Not like a cold or anything, just allergies acting up. So I'm not doing the best, but we're here for you guys. So yeah,
Got some spice.
we got some spice. We got some spice for you. We can't not talk to you guys, okay? I could be on my deathbed. I'm like, all right, it's time to talk some anime, So we got a lot to talk about. Let's go over what we're going to go over today. We have Mushoku Tensei's latest episode. We have My Senpai is Annoying. And we have Komi Can't Communicate. We're going to break down all the latest episodes from this week. We also have a review for you guys. We have a review of the latest My Hero Academia movie 3, World Heroes Mission. We're going to give you a spoiler-free review of that. We got to check it out in the theaters. That was really cool. And then we got some announcements. We'd love to talk about latest anime coming out. We have Spy X Family. That's a very popular one in the manga scene right now. That is getting an adaptation. So if you read that, you'll be happy to hear about that. And Quintessential Quintuplets. A lot of people love that. We have an update on the movie coming out next year. And with that, let's get right into it. No Demon Slayer this week. I think I talked about that last week's episode. Even though I bought a Demon Slayer hat just for this episode, no Demon Slayer. So that's beautiful to see. But we do have Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2, Episode 5. I will hand it over to you, Germs. What did you think of this week's episode?
Ooh, spicy. We finally met someone in the family, but it wasn't the introduction that we were expecting,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people, when you expect this kind of anime, like, oh, he's trying to look for his family. This is the whole point of the show at the moment. And it's like, okay, when he meets his family, dude, this is gonna be like a wholesome moment. It's gonna be tears. But there was some blood spilled a little bit on this one here. So, what do you think about this reunion that Rudy has had with his father?
I wasn't expecting it. I was not expecting it at all. I was surprised. I took me back. So let's start from the beginning though. So the episode starts up and they're into the Millis country. And first of all, I just have to say it. I have to say it every week. Thank you, Studio Bind, for giving us such a gorgeous adaptation. The world building in Mushoku Tensei is probably the best I've seen in anime. Like, if you want to say for manga, One Piece is the best, then I can understand that for as long as it's going and all the lore that One Piece is built
the depth.
up. But man, for anime, this show is so immersive. Like, you're there. Like, it's not just traveling from this country to this country, or here's a kidnapping episode. Like, you really get accustomed to these different villages, these different lands. You learn about these different languages early in the first season that you learned about the magic system really well. This is, and again, this is just how I feel about the show. This is like one aspect that I feel lacks from ReZero, and probably a lot of isekai out there, where you're just kind of thrown into the world. Mushoku Tensei does such a great job, just feeling immersive. Like when the episode started. New music, by the way. So I think
I knew that. I knew that one.
so new arc. We're entering a new arc here. A lot of blue colors, but just so beautiful. Just the backgrounds are so beautiful, man. I can't not talk about it, even though it's not actual part of the story. It's so good.
But it is in a way. It's in the back. It's in the background. Yeah, in the background. No one talks about it.
Nobody talks about it, but it needs to be spoken about because it just adds to the flavor of the show. It adds that spice that we need. So yeah, so they're now into Millis. Rudy is like, all right, we're gonna take the day off. He kind of comes up with a plan to make the super look
Trek
good,
back.
but that gets thrown completely out of the window because he tries to stop what he perceives to be a kidnapping, and in the midst of that, Rudy finds his father. Holy shit! So as a manga reader, you were expecting this. Did they do a good job? Was it still fun for you to see this moment animated?
Yeah, in the manga it was slightly different. It kind of like moves a little bit forward he just meets him at the Adventurers Guild in the manga, from what I remember. So it wasn't like this action packed, but I liked what they did here. It was nice and interesting. It's like, oh, this style looks interesting. It's like, wait a second. It's like, oh shit, you know.
Yeah,
So that
I
was pretty
wonder.
spicy.
So this meeting that they had before they get to the cavern or whatever you want to call it, was this is so it wasn't part of the manga. Maybe this was part of the light novel.
Yeah,
Maybe I
yeah,
assume.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
probably yeah.
but yeah. So basically, he goes to stop the kidnappers. It looks like it's going well for him. Out of nowhere, we have this beautiful lady, not much clothes on her, but absolutely stunning. We didn't I don't know, you probably do, but I don't know her name yet. We have not been introduced to her name. I would like to know for, research purposes, but we see her, she kind of fights with Rudy a little bit, that's cool. Then we see this guy come out, and as soon as he called him Rudy, I'm like, "Okay," because 'cause I'm used to Rudeus at this point, right? We're into season 2, we're almost halfway through season 2. Sad to say, but as soon as he called him Rudy, I'm like, "Okay." I was thinking maybe it's the guy, remember that one guy from, The Kidnapper of,
Yeah, yeah.
previously? I'm like, Maybe it's him, but I don't think so." They kinda got rid of him, like, who could it be? And then it's his father, and his father looks hella different, his father looks like he's probably not, doing the best, He's been through hell and back, it seems.
hmm Yeah, just like I liked how like his he looks so scruffy.
Yep.
His like he like walked in drinking something. He's not in the best space right now.
Yeah, so he meets the father. They and then they go to the tavern. They kind of talk a little bit, and I was expecting. So okay, so we learned that the blast extended to Buena Village, right? So we learned that a lot of people got displaced. We learned that his father is working with this crew guild of his that they're trying to find and round up people. We actually get like a small cameo with I think it's like his illegitimate child, right? That one little girl that's kinda grown up now, right?
No, that's the normal
That
child.
oh, that's was that his child with the maid, or was that just his, Rudy's sister?
That's that's Rudy's sister.
Okay. So, yeah, that was kinda cool to see. I could see now why it kinda shocked the hell out of him. And, yeah, they basically get into a big ass argument, you know, his father calls him irresponsive. I think from our perspective, because we've seen all the BS that Rudy and his team has gone through, that we kind of understand where he's coming from, but it just didn't even occur to him that the blast, could have displaced even his parents too, you know? And I was expecting him to say like, "Oh, your mom died," or something like that. That's why he's with this new mistress maybe, but, from what we know, she's just out there somewhere. They all got displaced and they haven't found her yet, which is I'm curious, is that gonna change the nature of the show, or are they gonna is Rudeus gonna try and go find his mother now as opposed to try and get Eris back home? Because now what was kind of a small problem with Eris, not a small problem, but like a very, narrow problem has
Yeah,
now
just like
sort
that's the
of
goal. That's the only goal we have.
that
There's
wa
only one
yeah,
goal.
yeah, that was the goal. That was the whole goal, and now that the universe as we know it has kind of expanded here. Now it's like, okay, is he gonna go try and um, save his mother? Are they gonna try and populate back in Buena Village? Now it's not just trying to get back to home. It seems like home no longer sort of exists. So
Exist. Yeah.
I, I'm curious as to where the show goes. But I'm very fascinated to see where are they gonna take this. But as always, a great episode. No complaints from me.
hmm Yeah, I like how different the goal feels to a lot of others isekais. Like isekai is usually like, oh, the demon lord, or corrupt government or something. It's like, the only like thing is just like, he's trying to find his family. It's like, okay, I gotta bring Eris back to her family, and then I'll maybe I'll find mine, or maybe we'll do it both at the same time. It's like now it's way different than everything else. There's no big enemy to beat. There's no one guy he has to surpass. So he's got to travel the world to try to find his family. That's
Yeah,
a very nice and different goal that I like.
everything about this show is different than the standard isekai. Like this is It's honestly it's, what's the right word I should use? It's a privilege to watch Mushoku Tensei every week, man. It's such like, they're doing such a good job with the show, and I'm really glad that you turned me on to the show because I might have looked past it, especially with all the hate that it gets, but if you could just look past some of that stuff, I'm telling you guys, this show is so, so good. And yeah, to close out the episode, we had a little bit of, okay, there's a little bit of a hint that Eris it might be slight, but she might be turning on to Rudius here. Because earlier in the episode, um, oh
The
yeah,
Yasoway
so
guy.
yeah, Mr. Castaway, Mr. Funk, he leaves, and she's like, "You better teach me cooking sometime." And he's like, "Why?" And she doesn't say anything. And Rudeus is like, tell us why, tell us why." But that might just be him being perverted, right? But then towards the end, she's like, she goes like goblin hunting. That would have been fun to see. That would have been, even if it was like a minute, I would have liked to have seen that, with her hot temper. But basically, she learns that Rudius is all sad because of the events of the day, and she goes to console him a little bit, right? But initially, she's pissed. She's like, "Oh, your father did that? I'll go murder him." And then Ruijerd has to be like, "No, no, no, don't do that. Don't get involved in family business or family affairs." That's what the episode title was for this week. But yeah, so she's now getting upset on his behalf, and she's now going out of her way to console him. So I don't know. I don't know. I like what's brewing here. Whatever's brewing here, it's slight. It's slight, but it's beginning. It's beginning, and I like it. So that's good to see. What'd you think of all that?
Yeah, I loved it. Nice little moments. That's what the show isn't afraid to slow down a little bit. It doesn't need to be pure action all the time. There's a little bit of action this episode, but the show, it doesn't care. If it spends like a minute and a half, just doing background shots. And a lot of shows it's like, oh, they're wasting time. But with Mushoku Tensei, it's like, oh, this is not wasting time. Like, we're building the city here. Oh, we're gonna take a little bit slow in this, a little bit more emotional moment here. Let it
Yeah.
let it let it let it brew. Not just
Mhm.
be like, oh, let me go find your dad, and it just cuts away or something. It really sticks on the moments it wants to.
Yeah. Yeah, and thank God that they do. I mean, I'm really happy that they do. I think that these slow moments really add to the immersion and the experience overall. I thought it was a great episode. I guess you could say slower in terms of not much action this episode, but in terms of plot, lots of plot.
Ramifications, yeah.
The ramifications of this episode, and I don't know, you're the manga reader here, but I assume that everything kind of changes at this point. What was once a sort of narrow goal now is now I don't even know where they take it from now. It's not even, necessarily trying to get home now. There's no home to sort of return to. They don't even know where his mother's at. So, yeah, I'm fascinated with this episode. Final thoughts before we wrap up, this week's, episode of Mushoku Tensei?
Good shit, good shit. As always, it's not like it's always got me on the edge of my seat. It's like, oh, okay, so now we got something new to think about. While we have the next episode. So good shit, man. Good shit.
Good shit as always. Weebs, comment down below if you're watching Mushoku Tensei with us. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this week's episode. And if you're an anime only like me, where you think that this could potentially lead? I mean, I'm very curious and very excited to hear what some of you might think about that. But yeah, all right, let's move on here to My Senpai is Annoying, episode 4. Yeah, this is a fun episode. Let's hear your thoughts on it, Germs.
Yeah, this is the sick episode. That's basically all that happens in this episode. But that it's good. There's so many good moments in here. It just keeps hitting him with the good moments, and you're like, oh, it's like, oh, okay, now something's different. It's like, oh, now it's the reverse of in the beginning of the episode. It's like, oh, okay, and I'm liking where this is going now.
Yeah,
So it's very nice.
it comes full circle because Senpai initially comforts Igarashi, and then at the end of the episode, we see Igarashi comforting Senpai, which I thought was good. And you know what's funny? Like they use it as a gag. Like when she was going to leave and get groceries and stuff, he was at her door, and then towards the latter half, he's going to leave. She's at his door. So I really like that. That was good. Only other thing to really talk about with this episode too, in addition to that, is Senpai gets a phone this episode, which I think that totally suits his personality. Like I think that really uh, that's a good trait for him to have. This sort of technologically illiterate, he can do his job well, but he doesn't communicate with the office because he doesn't have a smartphone like everybody else. I think that that's really cool. and it gives a little bit more bonding time between Igarashi and Senpai. But yeah, this was solely them this episode. The side romance that we have took a little bit of a backseat this episode. We got tons of Igarashi and Senpai, and I'm not complaining about that.
Yeah, it was really nice. The when she's all laying sick and she's all like looking around, all, like, oh wait, I have all these stuffed little toys and all that kind of stuff, and it was nice little cute moments. And then when he then when he comes to the office and he's like, "Oh, thanks for taking care of me," it's like she's like, "No, no, 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 no."
No, 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 no. Yeah, and I loved her getting embarrassed like that. I love the little moments too. Like she cooks him food, he likes it, and then she starts touching his chin hair, and then he kind of wakes up and she runs out. Dude, I
And then
thought she was gonna.
before she leaves, she knocks him out.
Yeah,
Little karate chop.
gives him the slap, and yeah, I thought that was cool. I thought she was gonna kiss him for a second. I'm like, whoa, because she's like staring at him, looking at him, like getting a little bit closer. I'm like, whoa, are they gonna go balls to the walls this episode? What is she? Because the frame kind of zoomed in on his lips, right? So of course you're not thinking about his facial hair. You're thinking about his
But
lips,
she
right?
is.
Well, she is, but I'm like, damn, is she gonna go kiss him right now? Holy shit! But of course that wouldn't make sense. She's not that ballsy yet. But yeah, a
Yeah,
little bit of a slower episode. I think of the four that we've had, probably my least favorite. Not as great as the others, but still good, still very solid. You know, they could give me episodes like this every week, and I'll be very content. You know what I mean? Yeah, I love it, and I love the sort of time of year, right? Because last week's was the Christmas episode, so we're still kind of in
still
fall
cold.
here. Yeah, so I like that. I like that. And yeah, I thought it was solid. Anything for you to add in particular? Not a lot of meat to chew on this week's episode, but good flavor in there, good flavor.
Yeah, there was like one slight moment with the other couple when she was like, "Oh, I wish he would take care of me or something." I forget exactly what it was, but she would kind of smiled a little bit as well.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was such a small moment. I barely remember it.
you could tell she's really into him, and he's almost kind of aloof too. Well, you could tell, at least with that relationship, you could tell he likes her too, but he's kind of it seems like
Not
she's
getting
more into her, or she's more into him, I should say. Blah. But yeah, that's cool to see. Just a little bit there, just a little bit there.
a little pinch.
A little pinch, to wake you up. So yeah, guys and gals, the weebs out there, comment down below if you guys are watching My Senpai is Annoying. This one should be maybe next week. We'll do like a weekly rankings, and we'll see where all these shows are at. I hope that
Mhm.
this one's moving up a little bit, but not as hyped as some of the others, but still good content nonetheless. Really
Solid.
hyped about it. All right, and so to finish off a roundup, it feels so quick without Demon Slayer, but we have Komi Can't Communicate, episode 4. What an episode. I'll throw it to you, man. What did you think of this week's episode?
All these episodes this week have like one word you can kind of describe it. And this one was yandere, and that's
Yes.
that's no doubt
Yes.
there.
We meet the yandere for this series. And boy, do we meet the yandere. I mean, that's
We
if
see
you
all our
want
inner
to
thoughts.
you want a yandere episode, watch this shit. But yeah, what'd you think of it? Because it was pretty hectic, but what'd you actually think of it?
Yeah, I think they did a really good job with it. I liked how her voice acting was like, like
Yeah.
initially it's like, oh, this is like,
Yeah.
this is the cute heroine, voice, and then she makes all those faces, and she's like, how you dare talk to her?
Exactly. You kinda get inside her head, and the voice actress does such a good job, like, the way that she turns on Crazy, like, Crazy just goes on real quick, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree
Mm-hmm.
with that, I like that a lot. Her name is Yamai Ren, so that is the new character this week. And it's cool that it's kind of building on, like, the previous friends, because in the beginning, we see her talk to Dog Girl, and she's like, "Fucking back away," and she's like, "Oh, shit," and she kinda backs away, and then we get,
Natsumi.
yeah, Natsumi, we get that character, and that character can kinda deal with her a little bit more, but still a little bit scary. Everyone's kinda scared of this character, especially Komi, dude. Komi's faces when, like, she was talking to this new yandere, it was some of the funniest shit, remember in the beginning, she picks up a hair, I think she sniffs
Starts
it,
eating it,
she, like, licks it,
licking it,
right? Then she puts it in a bag, And
for
before
later.
that, and then Komi has like the bug eyes, and she's kind of all shaking. So funny, man. I think one of the great things about the show so far is Komi's interaction with this environment, right? Like, it's such great irony. Like, Komi is, she can't communicate well, and she's very scared and nervous, but the school loves her, or a lot of people do, right? A lot of people look up to her, worship her. We've got a girl that's becoming a dog for her. We got this new Yandere character. Like, I think that's partly why I like the show so much because of Komi's interaction with the world and sort of a lot of times she's scared of other people, but she's also trying to learn to get along with people, right? And she even makes friends with this new character at the end here, which is pretty cool to see.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I really liked how oh, well, there was a moment before that, but when she kind of like she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna apologize for kidnapping Toto-kun," and
Yeah, 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 yeah.
oh,
That's
apologize, but then she's like, "Oh, actually, no, I didn't, but I'm apologizing."
Yeah, yeah, that's we got a lot to talk about there. So basically, to talk about the content of the episode, the Yandere locks up Tadano, and then I don't. This was kind of random. They're just like, yeah, let's go hang out at your place after school. And the nerves on this Yandere, she's just like, okay, just wait there. She starts taking down her pictures. I mean, this episode, like the first half, the first 2 quarters, I'm like, this show is gonna be all comedy, isn't it? Because it's like comedy to the max. It's like it's so over the top. It's so dramatic. He got Tadano locked up in the closet. He's scared for his life. It's cool. I like that Komi kind of rescued him. Did you like that? I thought that that was really kind of cool. That she kind of like
Mhm,
steps in there and kind of acts brave for once, you know?
mhm. Yeah, yeah, this was a nice, not improve. I wouldn't say improve. What's the word?
Character development.
Growing, yeah, character development for Comey this episode.
Oh yeah.
There was that moment, and one later is like,
And the one
oh
right
yeah,
after it. All right, let's
we're
we don't
moving.
we I know you want to talk about it. Let's just get to it. So afterwards, another short episodic time lapse happens. So Komi's talking to Tadano in the hall. She apologizes because she's like, "Do you really want to be my friend for all of the trouble that I kind of caused you?" And of course, like good boy MC, he's like, "No, of course we got to stay friends." And yeah, she's really happy about that, and she talks to him a little bit, kinda gets the words out there, but, what was the quote? "I will decide my friends myself." So she initially tells that to Crazy Yandere. I thought that that was badass, and then a beautiful moment to, conclude a rather, comedic episode, right? Because Tadano kinda throws that back in her face, and, he's kinda like, "Oh, shit, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude," but she liked that. And then she makes friends with the Yandere. So what are we up to, like, 4 friends now? I mean, is it gonna be every week? I still don't know, but, yeah, very curious to see where this goes. So, yeah, great moment to conclude the episode, yeah?
Yeah, that was very very nice. I like it wasn't just like quick words. This is like she took like a minute with each word. It felt like but that's how it fits in her character. So
Yeah,
it's
fits the character.
it's great stuff there.
Yeah, and I like that I'm such a sucker for serious shit, man. I just wanna see serious stuff sometimes, you know? So I was like, "Man, like, that's, like, 3 episodes in a row of just straight up comedy." Like, not a lot of, dramatic moments and tension, but it was cool to see that they concluded the episode with that, and, I'm really happy about that. I really like that. 'Cause, again, like, the first 2 quarters, I'm like, "Shit, man, this is, like, straight up a comedy." Like, I know it might get serious later on, but this is just, like, all comedy. But it's cool that they kind of reined it in, and we got a beautiful moment there at the end. And, just one other thing, I love the OP, man. The OP is growing on
Oh,
me. That opening
every
is
time.
so good, so good. So the visuals are so artistic, like, I don't know, man. That candidate for OP of the year? I mean, it's gotta be up there, man. That's a really good opening, and, how you know an OP is good is when it grows on you every week. When every week you're like, "Alright, I cannot wait to start the episode." You start the episode, and you don't wanna skip that OP. That OP is just too beautiful. The music is too good. So
Hmm.
yeah, final thoughts for this week's episode of Homie Can't Communicate.
Well, good stuff, man. Good stuff. I like those the little moments at the end there. But the comedy was still pretty good. I love the voice acting and the
Ah,
visuals.
yeah, so
It's
good.
top tier, no doubt about that. And yeah, so I'm really satisfied with this episode.
Yeah, especially top tier voice acting. We didn't talk enough about that. I thought the Yandere's voice actress was really, really good. And even Komi's. I mean, she don't get much lines, but it's cool to see when Komi does speak, you know? So, guys, gals, the weebs out there, comment down below. We know you're watching Komi Can't Communicate. If you're behind and you're watching that Netflix garbage, don't worry. You can scour the internet and find the latest episodes because I think Netflix is up to 2 now. I think they just released a second, so hopefully it's not bad subs. You know how Netflix be. You know how Netflix be. So that
Yeah,
is going to conclude our weekly roundup for this week. Felt a little quick without Demon Slayer, but hey, we got
just
JoJo
how
at
it
the end.
be.
We got JoJo at the end of the year. Eventually, things are gonna ramp up here. So, all right, before moving on, we need to discuss the winner of the week between these three. I think that this is kind of easy for me, but let's hear what you got, Germs. What's your winner of the week between these three?
Oh, this is a hard one. All three of these were top tier. The Senpai isn't as strong as usually as it is, but it was still very
Still good?
strong for yeah, still top tier. It's nowhere near an average show, that's for sure.
No,
But
no.
with all these other shows, now it's like, oh, now we got some tough competition. So this is a real tough one for me. But I'm probably gonna have to just go with my heart here and say, oof,
Follow your heart.
oof. I
Follow
don't
the
know if my
heart.
heart, my heart's like equally being pulled.
Follow the heart.
I'll, I'm giving it to Komi.
Giving it to Komi. Nice. Yeah, Komi had a good episode. Komi, like, all right, Komi is easily second place for me, but I got to give it up to Mushoku Tensei just because I'm an anime only, so we're gonna have that different experience, right? So you're kind of expecting some of these events, but for me, I'm like, what the? I'm like blown away here. I'm like Rudy's father, like beautiful world building. I love this new country that they're at. I don't know how long they're gonna be there if they're gonna close out the season with that, but love the new place and yeah, Comey, you can't deny Comey. Comey was good shit this week, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, so yeah, they're all top tier. It's just it's so hard to pick. It's like when you have to pick one, you just gotta just pick one.
Yep, yep. One thing I loved about Comey was how it wasn't all comedic throughout, which good for me. I really appreciated that. So guys and gals, let us know what your winner of the week was down below. We'd love to hear it. It could be any anime that is airing this season, or I guess anything you're watching right now. So it doesn't have to be these three. Let us know what episode did you watch this week, and which one was it? Why did you love it so much? Why is it your winner of the week? All right, let's get into our discussion here. We have a spoiler-free review for you guys. This is going to be fun. I actually, because we saw it together, we went in the theater. But we didn't exactly share our thoughts afterwards. We saved it for the podcast. That's going to be My Hero Academia Movie 3 World Heroes Mission Review. Right for you guys. I'll start off with you, Germs. What did you think of this? What did you think of this movie?
Yeah, I was really surprised by this movie. I kind of expecting like, okay, like the other two movies, they weren't really serious, and it was kind of just yeah, just oh, well, let's go to a crazy new environment and then just do something. It's like okay, not bad, not bad. But this one, like right from the get go, is like, oh, sets a tone like in a really different way. It's like, oh, okay, this is not gonna be a usual My Hero Academia. It's like, okay, let's see what we're doing here, and the experience really continued on from there with the tone it set there. So I think it was really interesting what they did here.
Yeah, this. Let me just say this from the top. This is a different beast from the first two movies. I don't know how people feel about the first two. I thought that they were solid. But one thing that you can kind of this is how I feel. You might disagree. One thing you could say about the first two is like those could be like their own filler arcs. Like you could probably throw those in a season of the anime and it'd probably work. Not really the second movie because of I can't spoil it, but because of something that happened there at the end that like it was kind of how should I put it without spoiling anything? It's hard to imagine that as canon, right? Like some people debate whether these are canon or not. The second movie, something kind of happens that gets undone by the end, and it's kind of like, okay, that doesn't really seem like it fits the show. But for the most part, you could take those two movies, slice them up, and put them as episodes in the series. This movie is different. This feels like a film. This is a film, right? And I'm not talking just like beginning, middle, and end type of stuff. Like this feels like they really crafted a film here, and it's different, it's unique. They set their sights high for this one, and I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't. Like, of course, they had a lot of advertisement for it, and it's Boku no Hero. It's a shonen film, right? But
Yeah.
most shonen movies are kind of they're side quests, right? I mean, if you think about Naruto, like every OG Naruto film ended with him, blasting someone with the Rasengan. DBZ always going Super Saiyan. Like they kind of follow this formula of the shonen genre as a whole. In this film, yeah, it follows that formula, but this is really its own adventure. Like you go on an adventure with this film, and I dig that. I dig that. So the premise is hell, how do we even get into the premise? There's this organization called the Humorists, I believe. They are kind of following the theme of the fifth season, and we'll get into what we thought of this compared to the fifth season. But they are sort of trying to undo this quirkless world that we have here. So the heroes are kind of scattered throughout different nations, and along the way, um, basically, our 3 heroes, it's basically Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. Everybody else is basically a cameo. Like, it's basically those 3, let's be real. And that's
Yeah.
that's that's fine. I mean, it's a large cast, that's a lot to juggle here, but basically what you're gonna get for 80% of this movie is, Deku and this new character, Roddy. Roddy or yeah, Roddy.
Yeah. So,
So,
so, some.
he
Yeah.
he's, uh, he's a good I thought he was good. Did you like him? Did you get used to
Yeah.
him by the end?
Yeah, initially I was like, I don't know, I don't like this new, this showing a new character. He's probably just for this movie. It's gonna be, But as the movie started going on, and you start learning about his character and he starts his actions, it's like, oh, okay, he's starting to grow on me. I'm liking this guy. He's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, you guys might not like, the fact that they're introducing a new character for the film, but like I said, this film is really trying to be a film. It's really trying to give you this standalone adventure, and I think listen, the setting was really interesting. I forget what the country's Otheon? Like,
Yeah,
it's like it's like, it's like, okay, like, here on this side, you have Central America, kind of, right? Then you
yeah.
have, like, the Golden Gate Bridge, and then it leads into, like, France or, like, European architecture. Like, it's, like, the weirdest thing ever, like, but, yeah, you have this fictional country, Otheon, and, yeah, they go on an adventure. We can't get into any spoiler-ish things, but let's just say the animation's
Spicy.
good. It's spicy. I really thought that Bones did a good job with the animation here. I think it's an adventure film. If you wanna see Deku go on an adventure, and again, it's pretty much Deku most of the time. You get a little bit of Bakugo and Todoroki, and then everybody else is a cameo at best. At best, they're a cameo, but nonetheless, that's what they had to do to make the movie work. Lot of superhero movie influence here. I mean, there's one scene where they're on this Golden Gate Bridge. Of course, it's not the Golden Gate Bridge, but it's damn near reminiscent of Spider-Man. I mean, I'm watching this shit. I'm like, okay, like we're just going full fucking Spider-Man here. Okay, okay. But the author of My Hero is a big Marvel fan, so
Yeah.
that's cool to see. That's cool to see. You want your MCU fix in anime? Here you go. Here you go. The action, so good, so good. Again, we can't spoil anything, but holy shit, that last action piece, the climax, the conclusion, amazing as always. But the first 2 were good too. So I think people probably expect that at this point. Did you expect that at this point? Like, it's a My Hero movie. They're gonna have a big ass action scene at the end, you know?
Yeah, well, I was more surprised by the really spicy action scenes in the beginning. Like one action scene went on
Yes.
for so long, I was like way longer than I expected. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, we're doing some really cool things here. And some of the other random action scenes, like, oh, okay, they put a little more budget into here. So it wasn't usually I would expect the ending, and something like maybe a little fight in the middle, but like there was a lot of action in here, a lot of nice good scenes they put in. So
Yeah, and in some of the panning shots, there's 2 fight scenes in particular that I can think of where you kind of have a lot going on and the camera just continues to move all throughout. Like, you'll see an explosion go on, then the camera follows the character, and then another character comes into view, and then you see them fight. Like a lot of cinematography done well in these fight scenes. They weren't just typical cut, 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 cut. a lot of panning, and that's cool to see. That's like something new, something that they don't typically do in any action anime, to be honest with you. So I really like that. Again, the setting was great. Not many characters to digest here, but new character Roddy, I like him. I like his quirk. We can't get into that for spoiler reasons, but you I think most people will come to like him towards the end of the film. I mean, he'll grow on you even if you don't initially like him. Deku, same Deku. He goes on an adventure that's really cool to see. And
Mhm.
yeah, music A1 is always same you'll hear some of the same soundtracks that you expect to hear. And yeah, overall, I think that this is the best My Hero film easily. The other 2
Easily.
are fine. They're those are the typical standard shonen side films, and they're fine. They're great for what they are. That second one was like a fucking DBZ film. That one went very over the top, but this is really its own story. This is really trying to be a film. This is not just trying to give you a little filler arc with good animation. This is its own film. At least I felt that way. Like they really gave you something different here. They gave you not just a villain and in sort of a setup here that's going to lead to a big fight at the end. The characters go on an adventure here, and there's some mystery there that gets uncovered. So lot of good stuff here. The only complaint that I have, let's get into complaints. Only slight complaint I have is the villain. But hey, it's a shonen movie, right? Like
They can't
you
make
ex-
anything too good.
you can't make anything too good, right? So, unless it's like Demon Slayer, but that's like canon. That's like part of the manga. That's different, right? So, for
Yeah.
a side filler-ish um movie, that's fine. I mean, all 9 out of 10 shonen films have a weekly developed villain. So, that's almost expected at this point. That's almost nitpicking at this point. But other than that, I thought they did a damn good job with this movie. So, yeah, what any downsides that you see with this one?
No, not really. The some of the stuff that happens here, it's like, oh, this is going back to the season. It's like, things got a little too crazy in certain points. Like, I feel like people would even remember this kind of stuff. But as a self-contained kind of thing, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is cool. Like, just think about it as like an alternate universe or something in a way, because it's like it gets so crazy. It's like how are
Yeah,
people not going to be talking about this, like, in the season, but that's how it is with the movie. Usually,
it
movies,
is.
like, you just think of it as a separate own little side tangent here. So I think it was pretty good. Really good animation, the motivation for Deku and Roddy for all this adventure to go on. It's like, okay, this is believable.
Even
This
even the motivation for the villain, I thought was good. Again, I thought that the villain was kind of meh, but even the motivation for the group, trying to get rid of quirks and all that, even I found that good, right? Would you
Yeah,
agree?
yeah. So if like something that you'd see in the show, it just the
Yeah.
villain wasn't as strong as you would expect to see in a show, but like the stakes and everything were,
Yeah, the
yeah,
stakes are sky high with this shit. I mean, this is like you'll see what we mean. We can't get too specific, but yeah, the stakes are very high with this one. I felt that way with the second movie, dude. When they did what they did, can't say, but
yeah.
but after you watch the second movie, you're like, okay, like there's no way that that could happen in the series and it not like alter the series where they don't talk about it, where it's not like a thing. You know what I mean? So that's why those are kind of fillerish, and that's why this one is too. It's its own standalone thing, but
That's how movies are always going to be.
yeah, again, it's like me bitching about the villain. It's expected. It's a shonen film, but it's a damn good one. It's a damn good one. I think they set the ball high with this one. Like they were really trying to craft a good film with this one, and you agree it's better than the first two, yeah?
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah, yeah. And let's talk about this. Would you agree this is better than season 5? Is this shits on season 5 in my opinion?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
definitely like. I would easily sit through this movie like three times.
Ha. As
And
opposed to season 5. Yeah.
yeah, but that's just
Yeah,
that's how our opinion on it is. Maybe some people, but the amount of action and story and stuff, and he's like, ooh, if they would have made this canon, then this would be way better,
oh,
easily way.
yeah, this would be great canon. And one thing, I'll leave it with this. One thing that this film captures that I really like is, because we reviewed season 5 weekly and we didn't have the best things to say about it, but most people acknowledge that it's season 5 is probably the low point of the series, I guess, right? Only you would know because you're the manga reader, but that's from what I hear. With this film, it captured that magic that Boku no Hero has, and I left the theater thinking, "Damn, I love Boku no Hero." Like, I really love My Hero Academia. It's a good, solid franchise. Is it the best shonen out right now? Probably not. I think that newer shonen, Demon Slayer, Kaizen, we got Chainsaw Man coming, Attack on Titan, more of a seinen, but whatever. Like, there's other shows that probably you could say trump My Hero, but there is something special about that sort of magic that Boku no Hero,
Heroes.
that heroism that you get with My Hero Academia. It's very reminiscent of like Naruto. Like if Naruto was the spiritual successor of Dragon Ball Z, you'd have to say My Hero Academia is the spiritual successor of Naruto. I mean, it captures that feel good, um, you know, come from behind, root for the underdog, story. That
Become
magic
number
that it
one.
exactly it especially towards the end. And the first two movies capture it, but this one it was refreshing to see it this time, given the season that we got. I mean, we didn't even get a lot of Deku this past season. It was kind of all over the place. You had the training arc, and then you had some villain stuff at the end. It was, it wa- it this reinvigorated my love for My Hero Academia. It gave me that magic that I love to see, that I love to feel, the way that it touches your heart, your soul when you're rooting for the MC to come from behind to pull it out. It was just great to see, especially following that season 5. So if you guys are not really digging season 5 like we were, this is a treat. This is definitely a treat to come, after season 5. It technically is set during season 5 during the training arc with Endeavor. But yeah, it was just nice to see. It was just very refreshing to see that old spirit of Boku no Hero come back, you know? Would you agree?
Yeah, I felt really nice. It's like, oh, this is my Arcademia.
Yes.
This is what I came to see.
Exactly. It's that familiar, smell, right? When the grandma's making cookies or whatever, right? You're back home, you know what I mean? That sort of feeling, and that's the best thing you can say about it. I mean, that's what the series needed, especially for anime fans, for the anime watchers out there. That's exactly what we needed, and it's exactly what it gave to us at the end here, so highly
Hmm.
recommend on my behalf. I thought it was a solid, solid movie.
Yeah, I would agree as well.
Yeah, let's give it out of 5. What are you gonna give it out of 5, broski?
I think I'm gonna be a little bit generous. I'll give it a 4.
Same.
Pretty good.
I'll give it a 4. Not a 5 out of 5, not a perfect movie. It's still the typical shonen type of movie, right? Like, it's kind of it has big stakes that won't really affect the series, and I know that people don't like that, and I can understand why. Why would you wanna watch something if it has no impact on the actual story? But if you do like My Hero, highly recommend it. I mean, it's all the same characters you love and know, but especially Deku gets a lot of shine in this one, and yeah, like I said, it's an adventure, so it's a little bit different, and it captures that magic. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 as well, and, yeah, I mean, that gets anything like 3 or above, I'd say gets the Weeb Retreat seal of approval here, so definitely check it out if you haven't, and, we recommend it. Comment down below if you guys have seen it. A lot of people talking about it now. Um, yeah, yeah, all right. Now let's move on to the weekly news we have for you guys. Only two things that we're gonna go over here. The first is pretty big though, pretty big. We have Spy X Family. A lot of hype over this manga is finally getting an anime. Have you read any of it, Germs?
No, unfortunately, I'm still waiting for my manga volumes to come in.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So,
if you're in the manga community, this is
oh yeah,
you see this every week. So. But back to you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's big in the manga community. This is a shonen, right? It's like Shonen Plus or Shonen Alpha, or like it's a subsidiary of
Yeah,
Shonen Jump, right? So
yeah.
that's cool to see. And here's the big thing. So we don't have a month or anything like that. We know it's going to come out next year. It's being done by Wit Studio and
Whoop.
shit. Where's the other one here? Cloverworks.
Coverworks.
Cloverworks.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a combination right there, man. What do you think of that combination? That combination very much intrigues me.
Yeah, because we love a lot of Cloverworks stuff, but they mess up a little bit every once in a while. But Wit, maybe Wit's gonna help out there and make sure that it's on the right tracks. Because when they're on the right tracks, oh, Cloverworks knows what to do.
Yes,
But
yes,
once they're off, once they start derailing, it's like, oh no, oh stop. So,
yeah,
but I think Wit should hopefully set them
yeah.
straight.
And you know what's sad about Wit right now is Wit is going through a lot of financial troubles. So, um, people are actually speculating that they might go under. Like part of their financial troubles was selling or passing Attack on Titan to Mappa. So, yeah, a lot of hopefully this brings in some revenue for Wit. We know that they are in the hole, couple $1 million or so. But yeah, if you look at Cloverworks, like Cloverworks intrigues me, man. Like, okay, you have the first season of Neverland, good shit. You have Bunny Girl Senpai, people love that. Not really me, but whatever. They worked on Darling in the Franxx, people love that. Horimiya, probably not the best adaptation, but still a solid anime. They completely botched, Promised Neverland's 2nd season. They completely botched, the ending of Wonder Egg and the Wonder Egg special, but the Wonder Egg season itself was gorgeous, gorgeous animation. I haven't finished. I'm working on Shadow's House right now. Where I'm at, it's solid. I mean, I don't know if it goes off a train or off a wreck or whatever, but it right now, it's on the tracks. It hasn't gone off the tracks yet, so I don't know. I have a soft spot for Cloverworks, even though they have kind of they fucked up. They fucked up in the past, but still beautiful animation, and, they're also doing, uh they also got another one coming out. What is it? My Dress Up Doll or something like that.
Oh, that was
Um,
Cloverworks. Oh,
that
okay.
no, that, yeah, it's gonna come out, but it's gonna be done by Cloverworks, which, and if you have seen the, trailer, that shit looks good. I think that was announced a while ago, so it's not really news at this point, but, I'm hyped for that as well. So, yeah, Cloverworks has a mixed track record, but I like a lot of their stuff. I'm kind of biased in that way, and hopefully this does good things for Wit because Wit is it'd be a shame if Wit goes under,
Yeah, it'd be
right?
a
I
real
mean,
shame.
it'd be a real fucking shame. They gave us Attack on Titan's first 3 seasons. I mean, that's a modern day classic. Vinland Saga, people love that
Oh yeah.
adaptation. So yeah, hopefully this does some good things for Cloverworks. Do you know anything about Spy X Family, or are you kind of going in blind?
I know just the gist of it. I've seen so many panels and things everywhere that I got a little slight gist of what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know shit about it. Is it like a comedy, I assume?
Comedy, there's a little bit of spice there. It's a little bit. It has some little seinen a little bit sometimes from
Oh,
what I've
okay.
seen. Because well, spies and assassins. A little gruesome, but
Yeah, I mean, the name value alone is enough to get people interested. Like, if you're in the anime, manga sphere and you sort of pay attention to some of these things, like the name alone, Spy X Family, like you've heard of that. People really like it. So very, very hyped for that. Comment down below if you read Spy X Family and if you are excited for this adaptation coming out next year. All right. Last bit of news here before we wrap up this week's episode. We have the Quintessential Quintuplets sequel film. We have the first 2 seasons. This is going to be the movie. It's going to open next summer. So that's Japan. I don't know when we're going to get it, but and we have a little bit of a trailer-ish, like a PV. They have like some of the shots there. Have you seen it yet?
no,
Let me
I
throw it
just
to
know a
you.
little bit of.
I'll
No
throw it
problem.
to you. Yeah, it's cool. It doesn't really show much about it, and I'm not caught up. So hell, what can I say at this point? But yeah, I'm just curious. Is this gonna wrap up the series? I mean, people were speculating that, so I don't know. I don't know. Some people are afraid it's gonna do an anime only route, and this might wrap up the series. People are afraid that it's gonna be one of those bullshit endings where they don't choose a girl, right? Where the harem just kind of gets left. The viewer gets left blue balled, right? No best girl gets chosen. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully they stick to the manga for whoever
Yeah.
whoever wins at the end. Hey, they promise you that within the first few seconds of the very first episode, right? So
Yeah,
They
there's no way
promised.
they're not gonna do that.
Well, if they
They're
do,
like,
it's
oh
gonna
no, there was 5 different brides. So
if they do, that's gonna be a major people are gonna be pissed at that. So hopefully they
but
don't do that.
I know. I already know.
That
I have a
sucks.
friend that reads it, and I was like,
You
damn,
you'll
why you gotta tell
never
me?
you'll never stop bringing that up. You're salty for life about that, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
what do you make of the PV?
yeah, looks nice. It's only it's so short. There's not much to
Yeah.
really see other than really what was already on the poster there. But
Hey, they looking good though, right? They looking
oh,
good?
looking good,
That's
always as always.
looking good. So that's a plus. Do you think this is gonna wrap up the series?
That one I have to consult my consultant on. That spoiled me,
Yeah.
but maybe it may be. It's a little hard to tell because I haven't personally even seen it, but I could see it. That'd be a very interesting way to end the series.
I could
But
here's the thing, I could see them doing that, but yeah, if they do a film ending, are they gonna do anime original content? And if they do,
nah, there's no way.
that
That's
that
old. That's old. That's the old way,
that
James.
is the old way. But hey, we just saw it. We just brought it up. I don't want to.
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
getting a bad taste in my mouth bringing it up. But Promise Neverland. We saw what happened with them. I'm not to bring that up. Not to give the viewers out there nightmares. But sorry, I should. It's like Voldemort. I shouldn't even bring that up. I'm getting bad taste in my mouth. Huh. Where's my water? I need some water here. Even bringing that up. But that's what the people are afraid of. They're afraid that this is not going to be a true ending of the source material. Hopefully that does not happen. Hopefully we get the adaptation we deserve. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's the big thing. Like, is this going to conclude the series? That's the big thing that we're all curious about.
Yeah, I'm really interested, especially since they said it was a sequel film. So
Oh
I
yeah,
think
it's canon. I
so,
assume it's canon if they're saying it's a sequel film. It's not like a side film.
yes,
I assume.
yeah. So I have a feeling it's probably gonna end the series because I'm starting to remember some stuff my friend was saying, but like some of the stuff near the end could be condensed a little bit because it went on a little long. So
Yeah.
maybe that'd be very interesting and interesting to see if it does, or if it's more like a filler slash like getting prepared for the last season kind of
Could
thing.
be.
Maybe
Could be.
there's no way,
When
unfortunately.
when they say sequel, I assume that's canon. And it could be a thing where, like you said, like where they're gonna speed up some of the end of the material, the source material. Sometimes the mangakas come in and sort of help direct. They don't like full on direct these anime, but they say, hey, like I know Attack on Titan's mangaka for I believe it was the second season. He's like, hey, you could kind of speed this up, the content that you guys are gonna go through because I was on this part of the story was a little bit long in the manga. He realized that Isayama, so he told Wit, "Hey, you can kind of, go at a faster pace for the season." So it could be
Mhm.
something like that where the mangaka's like, speed it up. We could probably get it done in a movie or something like that. So that's just the big question.
Yeah.
That's just the big what if, you know?
Yeah, especially since it's like a weekly or monthly series, there's always me regrets, as an author or
Yeah,
creator. It's like, oh, maybe I could have sped up a little bit more, maybe I could have extended that a little bit more. But that's what these movies are and adaptations are for. It's to see what can we add or what can we cut out, trim the fat and just get right to the juicy stuff. So
yeah, and
hopefully that's what they're doing here.
yeah. Like you bring up a good point. Like some adaptations even add stuff that I guess you could consider it filler to the manga, but it adds to the anime experience. Like we're glad, like the Mushoku Tensei episode we reviewed. That's not technically in the manga, but it's in the light novel, and it's we're glad that we got that episode that you didn't know about. So yeah, just curious, just very curious where they take this. Obviously before this comes out, I'm gonna catch up, and it comes out in summer,
Yes.
man. When
That's a
what?
yes.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know,
I
right?
know. That's so long.
That's so long. When like you think it's gonna? Are we gonna wait till like 23 to get it out here, or like that just sucks? Like because what's the delay? Like a good 6 months? You would know better than me. For like when we get the
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah. It's like 6 months or so.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit quicker if they got real like Amazon or something comes in like with the
Oh, that'd be good.
Evangelion. Evangelion was like a month or so or something crazy.
Yeah, that is Evangelion though. That is really a different beast altogether. But yeah, guys and gals, the weebs out there, if you're watching Quintessential Quintuplets, comment down below. We would like to hear, sometimes we want to consult you weebs out there. Do you think they're going to wrap up the series in this movie, or do you think it's just going to be a sequel film and they will have a season 3 at some point, or is this going to kind of serve as the season 3 and the series finale? We'd love to hear it. So that's going to conclude our show for today. We ran through the episodes. We gave you guys a spoiler-free review of the latest My Hero film, and then we talked some Spy X Family and Quintuplets. Any weekly thoughts to leave the weebs out there before we conclude this week's episode, Germs?
No, nothing really new. It's all the same. TCGs, you know how it be.
Yep, yep.
Always trying out new stuff. Me and you played Vanguard on last time we met up.
Yeah, last week. Yeah, that was fun. I played Vanguard on the phone, but playing in person is a little bit different. They got a new format now, so that's fun. That's fun. Yeah, I think the weebs out there will know Vanguard. That's
Yeah,
definitely
it's one of the big.
it's one of the bigs, and it's animated too. Yeah, a lot for me, a lot like in terms of hobbies and stuff like that, like a lot of good fights, man. A lot of good fights. We had good fights this past weekend. Got good fights coming up next weekend. Hopefully you can catch those with me. So I'm hyped about that right now. That's where my mind's at right now in terms of hobby stuff. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this week's episode. We hope you guys enjoyed this content. I pulled through this hangover and slight runny nose that I have, all for you weebs out there. So if you enjoyed this content, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you're a weeb like we are. It goes a long way. We're trying to figure out that damn YouTube algorithm, and anything helps us at this point. We know that a lot of our viewers too are not subs. So what are you waiting for? Don't wait too long. Time to sub. Time to get on the train early. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, make sure to follow us on there. We appreciate all of the listens. And with that, we're going to leave you guys this week, and we will see you guys next week. Weebs out. Peace.
Peace.